Some of the steps in this tutorial require FTP to make changes directly to your website files. So if you don't know what FTP is, or don't know your FTP login information, or if you haven't downloaded FTP software, exit this video now and click on the link at the top of the page. It's really critical that you familiarize yourself with FTP before you attempt to change your site's location. This video will walk you through the steps of how to change your ProPhoto installation address from something like mysite.com to mysite.com/blog. The order of the steps is very important. So if you don't want to break your site, watch this entire video before attempting any of the steps. Also, be aware that any change to your site's address will force your social media accounts to reset. Unfortunately, there's really nothing we can do about that. In our example, we have a ProPhoto site installed at netrivetsandbox.com. Our goal is to get the same site to appear at netrivetsandbox.com/blog. The first step is to log into your site's admin area and go to Settings, General. Here, you're going to change both your WordPress and site URLs to reflect your new desired address. To do this, simply add a / and then the name you desire for your subdirectory. In our example, we'll type /blog. As soon as you begin making changes to these URLs, you'll notice this big, red, scary message that gives you a warning regarding changes made here. If you don't know what you're doing with FTP, then you should be scared, and then you should click on the tutorial link. However, if you've watched this video and you're comfortable with FTP, then you could ignore the warning. After you make these changes, click Save Changes on the bottom of that page. As soon as you do that, you'll be kicked out of your admin area and taken to an error page that starts making you pretty nervous. You'll be tempted to email us for help, but don't worry, that's supposed to happen. Now that you've changed the domain name that WordPress uses for your site, step 2 is to move your WordPress files so that their location matches that change. Log into your FTP program and navigate to the location of your WordPress installation. For my FTP program, I am using CyberDuck, which is a free program that we really recommend that works great for both Windows and Mac. You will find your WordPress installation files at what is called the root level of your site. The root level directory is often called public_HTML, as it is here in our example, but it can also be known as HTTP docs, web, www, or public, and a handful of other names. It might even be called your domain name if you have multiple domains on one hosting account. It really just depends on how your host has things set up. The first thing we need to do is create a folder named exactly what we added after the / in Settings General. Create your new folder by either right-clicking or by clicking on the File menu item. Then select New Folder. Now name the new folder. Since we want to move our site to netrivetsandbox.com/blog, we will name it Blog. Now what we need to do is select and drag all the files and folders related to our WordPress installation into this newly created folder. Here is what a complete WordPress installation looks like so you can get an idea of what you're looking for. The number of files varies a little depending on what version of WordPress you are currently using. But you'll move every file and folder that starts with WP as well as 4 files called index.php, license.txt, readme.html, and xmlrpc.php. Now there'll be files and folders in your web root that you don't want to move, so be careful to only move your WordPress files. To highlight multiple files, I use Shift-click to highlight a block of items, and Command-click to highlight multiple individual items. Then I drag the blocks of files into the blog folder. And of course, you can drag them one by one as well. There! Now we've done it. Our ProPhoto site has moved from netrivetsandbox.com to netrivetsandbox.com/blog. To confirm that it worked, I'll go and refresh the page that was showing me an error, the /blog page, and it should now display our ProPhoto site correctly. Step 3 in this process involves a little bit of house cleaning as it pertains to our link structure in our site. Since we've changed the URL of our site, we want to make sure that all the internal links on our site, called permalinks, are working correctly. If your permalink structure is set to default, there's nothing to worry about. And you can tell that you have default permalinks if links to your pages end in something like $P equals and then a number. Like we recommend though, many customers have set up a custom permalink structure to make their URLs look cleaner. If you've done this, there's a system file that ensures that all of your internal links work correctly. Occasionally, this file doesn't get moved over properly, resulting in all of the internal links in your ProPhoto site leading to 404 not found pages. And that's not good. If you're using a custom permalink structure, you'll want to make sure that the required system file is set up properly. To do that, just go to Settings, Permalinks, and click the Save Changes button. This should regenerate the required system file and get things working. If your internal links to posts and pages work fine now, you know you're all set. If the links are still not working, then it could be that your server was unable to automatically update that configuration file. If that's the case, follow the troubleshooting steps at the end of the text version of this tutorial. If your links are still not working, which is super uncommon, change to the default structure in Settings Permalinks and contact your host for help. Finally, we highly advise that you also set up a 301 Wildcard Redirect with your host immediately after following these steps. Contact them, tell them you want to set up a Wildcard Redirect, and they'll know exactly what you're talking about. What this does is ensure that all incoming links to content at your former address will be redirected to the corresponding new address you have established. Without this redirect, anyone coming to your site from a previously existing link from, say, social media sites or other blogs and websites, they would land on a 404 not found page. And again, that's not good. Congratulations! Your site address is changed, your new links are now working, and your old incoming links are preserved as well.